Hello delegates, this is the first part of our crisis training where we'll be going over resource utilization in research in crisis. Effective utilization of resources is key to success in crisis. Thus, there are 7 steps to ensure effective utilization. First, identify your goals and win conditions. It is easiest to allocate resources when you know what you're working towards, so you should identify your goals both short-term and long-term, and work backwards to see what conditions must be met for you to achieve them. Then you can identify exactly which types of resources will be necessary to fulfill these conditions. Second, know yourself. To be able to use resources effectively, you have to know what resources you have to use. You can do this through affecting the research about your allocation or asking the CDs. Asking is especially important for resources that you create in council, such as troop numbers, to ensuring that you and the CDs are on the same page. Third, know your enemy. It is important to have resources, but it is also much more effective to allocate your resources correctly to target the weaknesses of other delegates. Find and expose delegates' weaknesses, and if none are present, try to create one. Once the weakness is exposed, always continue to pressure and take advantage of it until the end of the council. Fourth, be creative. One of the best ways to make sure that your resources are utilized effectively is to be creative in using them. This means that it is likely that no one has thought of or prepared any meaningful countermeasures against you or your plan, so whichever plan you are enacting is much more likely to work. Being creative also has its risks, however. If you did not prepare well enough, then the plan can easily fail, especially if you're not being clear with the CDs. 5. Take advantage of others. Taking advantage of resources others have access to through either espionage or alliances is an easy way to gain access to many more resources than you would have originally available. This also means to take advantage of any resources left behind by other delegates that you can find, such as research or materials. Doing this effectively will help massively increase your influence in council. 6. Prepare before taking action. To ensure your resources are not being wasted, always make preparations before doing anything significant. Significant events will shape the direction of the council, so it is wise to put a lot of effort into ensuring that the event plays out in your own favor. Know when it is important to save resources and when it is important to spend them. Remember that just having resources is meaningless without actually utilizing them effectively. 7. Last but not least, keeping track of the deployed of resources. It is extremely important for delegates to be able to keep track of their own resources and exactly what they've done in council. This will ensure that you are not surprised by events or consequences of your own actions, so that you may continue to have an impact on the council instead of reacting to these consequences. It also helps the CDs to keep track of your resources, thus ensuring they are put to good use. As for crisis research, there are 4 steps that you must take. First, use the guidebook effectively. Guidebook information is already selected out for you, thus it will help to guide your research and to ensure that you stay on topic and on track. Second, prioritize all information about your own allocation. It is much more important to know what you can do in council opposed to what other delegates can do. Thus, try and prioritize finding out everything you can about your own allocation first before moving on to research about everyone else. Third, find the strengths, weaknesses, and approximate threat level of other delegates. By finding out the strengths and weaknesses of other delegates and allocations, you are able to understand the amount of threat that they will impose to you in council. Thus, you can prioritize in targeting certain delegates effectively. Last but not least, think outside the box and use strategies from history. There are many events in history that have already taken place before that you will be able to draw inspiration from. If you research them correctly, then these strategies can be very effective for you to use in council. That is the end of our first crisis training. The second part will be conducted by someone else.